Welcome back, y'all. It is the Drunk Capitalist here again today, and as you can see from the title of this video, I owe a lot of money. I owe over, I think, $50,000 now. I'll have the exact amount on the thumbnail, but never mind the additional debt that I found myself in. It all came from a purchase of a car, which we'll talk about in another video because I don't even want to get into it. But today we will be talking about student loans. Now, student loans are about to resume. Basically, they already resumed September 1st, but the payments start next month in October. And it's about to be crazy. Everything is pretty much disorganized, but I don't think people really feel or understand how crazy everything is at this moment. The payment structures are complicated and convoluted. The information is sparse, but then some of it doesn't really add up. And we'll see more of that later in this video. But I just wanted to say that some people have already rushed into a decision of what they're going to do based on the options that they saw a few weeks ago. Some people haven't even opened up their student loan account. I know it for a fact, and people have no idea what they're in for. I opened it a few weeks ago and I had no idea I was pre-enrolled for the Save Plan. Not really sure why, but I guess it's because I previously asked for an IDR plan back in 2019, and somehow 3 years later, they're like, well, she's still broke. Let's go ahead and put her in the Save Plan, this new and improved Save Plan that we have. Now, I told you guys in a previous video that throughout the payment pause, I was paying on my Perkins loans, which I managed to pay off, and I was also saving the payments that were supposed to go to the federal student loans. So I've managed to accumulate a lot of money, but not quite all the way to the $26,000. And I've decided I'm going to go a different route. Now, it goes against what Dave Ramsey preaches, right? Of you have to use that money and pay it off right away. But me, I'm like super risk adverse, especially with the way the economy is set up right now. So I'm going to decide to do something else with that money, which I'll show you guys later. But first, let's look into my situation. So I owe $26,457 in total, and my main plan right now is to find a way to pay all of this off within 2 years. I'm going to try to find a way to get rid of some of the interest, make the payments as low as possible, get this done as quick as possible and as painless as possible, but still not put myself like in a financially exposed position, if that makes sense. But we're going to get into it. So these are my options based on my income and how much I owe on all the student loans, the $26,000 plus. So with the Save Plan, it's looking like about $543, and I'll pay it off in 2027. That doesn't sound great to me. I mean, that's cool, but like that doesn't sound great to me. Then with my standard repayment plan, which I was previously on, is about $304, but I'll pay it off in 2032. That is absolutely a no-go for me. Not going for that. That's crazy. And the ICR plan, which I think is probably one of the worst plans, is April 2023. So with all that said, I managed to save quite a bit of money, and I'll show that to you guys a little bit later. But for now, we're going to go over to the Nelnet website. All right, so here we are. We're on Nelnet. And right here, it shows you that my payments are due August 12th, 2024. So basically, with the Save Plan, because of the on-ramp thing, everyone that's on the Save Plan is stuck on this on-ramp, whether they need it or not. And because of that, you can't really sign up for auto payments because because of the on ramp, your payment is $0 until August of next year. So if you sign up for auto payments, they won't bill you. So this is what I mean by things are like ridiculous right now, because they also have the offer, right, for you to essentially, we're gonna check it out, for you to essentially payment manage automatic payments. Here we go. So just give it a second. Okay, so they have auto debit, and they have the offer where you can get a 0.25% interest rate reduction, which I really was looking forward to. But if you're under the safe plan and you're on the on ramp period, you can't actually benefit from that because you won't be billed. So there is no reduction for you for the next year. So I really have to like weigh whether or not it will be worth it to move from the safe plan, or and just go back to standard repayment. But the caveat is, if I move to the safe plan, if I move from the safe plan to the standard repayment, I after a year I'll lose the opportunity to sign up for the safe plan again. I'm pretty sure that's how it works. After September 2024, it'll be too late to sign up for those like income, like the safe plan. So it's kind of stuck. So part of me really wants to switch back to just going to the standard repayment, because I originally thought that's what my account would reflect, but somehow ended up on the safe plan. So in order for me to benefit from that 0.25% interest rate reduction by doing an auto debit, I'll have to return to standard repayment. Because my payment is saying something else. So as you can see from this view, my account starts with the letter E. Now, let's look at what this says. The first thing on the main page: interest resumed on September 1st, and payments for borrowers who now accounts start with E will be due in October. Right. My account starts with E, but my payment clearly says my due date is in August of next year. The whole thing is a mess. Like, it don't make sense. Like, you have to like literally go on all these different websites, the studentaid.gov and your servicer's website. Go through every page, read everything, because it is like amazingly and shockingly inconsistent. For the amount of years that they've been working on this whole thing, it seems very not really worked out at all. And it's funny because they really do expect you to pay them as soon as they're ready to collect that payment. There's not going to be any confusion there on your end, but for them, they can confuse you all day long for years. But I digress. So let's get into what I decided to do. Like I said, I'm gonna do a 2-year repayment plan that I'm going to self-create, because what I found from looking at these options is that none of them work for me. And I recommend people doing the same thing. I think if you can't find a plan that necessarily works for you, it's okay to take the tools and the knowledge from everything that you gathered and just create your own thing that really works well for you. Like I said, I saved a ton of money in order to pay this stuff off. And, I spent a little here, spent a little there as far as paying off other loans, but I still have a nice lump sum. So what I decided to do was part that money into a CD. Now, I don't know anything about a CD, but I decided that like if I'm going to be interested in finance, I got to really actually experiment in different areas of finance. And I think CDs are a super safe way to do that, because that interest that you're going to actually gain is actually always going to be beneficial and is a super safe investment. It doesn't require you to jump through a bunch of hoops and loops. It doesn't require much research, if at all any research. It's something you could do at your local bank, which is what I did. And it's a nice way to kind of offset the interest that I will be accumulating on the student loans in the meantime. So the whole point of me trying to create the 2-year plan and not just put the money straight on the student loans is because I figure if I can just pay on the student loans, I'm gonna pay probably $300 to $400 a month starting in October, and every quarter put a lump sum down, and like that kind of stagger the interest like monthly or quarterly basically, or like stagger the payments so that you know my total owed amount will pretty much go down drastically every quarter for 8 quarters until the entire thing is paid off. So I'm going to show you guys a picture of my CD. All right, so here it is. I decided to go for a Chase CD of 6 months. Now, the reason I chose 6 months specifically is because that is where you got the highest interest rates. So, unfortunately for me, even if I try to do what I did here and demonstrate 4% over the next 2 years, it's possible based on the Federal Reserve that that interest rate may lower and I won't yield as much as the 4%. But in the interest of just a demonstration, I did the math for you guys. If it stays at 4%, did the math. And this is what it is. This is how much I was able to save. 6 digits, or no, 5 digits at 4% APY. So that's about, $400. Yes, I know. That's another thing about the understanding the APY is that yes, it's annual percentage yield at 4%, and for all the math geniuses, no, 4% of $20,000 is not 400, it is $800. But because it's only 6 months, it's only half that year. In a year, it would be $800. Half a year, it's $400. This is 6 months. So at $20,000 at 4%, I'll make $400 about, and then roll that. Once it matures, I'll roll that $400 into the 20,000 at 4% again, and that would also equal another $408. And at that point, I will have the $800. I did mostly rough estimates because it just didn't make sense. I hate typing like odd numbers over and over again. So we got to, it should be $20,804, but I just left it at $20,800 at 4% again. You'll make an additional $412. And then at the end of 3 quarters, well, 3 times of doing this, you'll have $21,212 at 4%, and that will be $420. After 2 years, in total, you'll have $21,632. So you're basically making about $1,600 in the course of 2 years. And in general, that's actually, it covers all of the interest. If it was to stay at 4%, we'll have to recalculate every 6 months to see where we are in the CD as far as the new rates. But obviously, through the 6 months, once you get the CD, you don't have to worry about it changing. You just have to worry about it after it matures. And then after it matures, you have 10 days to decide what you're going to do based on the new rates or whatever's going on in your life. So I wanted to keep everything very flexible, but keep the money extremely safe and secure, and also make money off of that money instead of simply just giving it to the student loan servicer or the government, whatever, and completely not having that money. Because realistically, anything could happen in life. Like, most things are just not under your control. So you have to control the controllable. And this is in the case where I decided I'm going to control the controllable. I have my money and I'm going to control it. I'm going to utilize it. It is a tool. It's nothing else but a tool. And I know some people will say, well, everyone doesn't have $20,000. Well, you could put $1,000 into a CD and gain interest. And you could put $1,000 into a CD and gain interest in that way, if you want to. I think that's usually the minimum you could put into a CD. But again, you can have a CD that's even longer than my 6 month CD. You can have a CD of 5 years. You can create a CD ladder, which is something I'm looking into. But anyway, so essentially, I'll be making about $68 per month. And if you take a look at all my loan groups, which I went extensively on all of this math to see how much each of my loan groups added up to. So in monthly, my interest rate, if you calculate all of my student loans, my interest rate currently, the interest I accumulate is $90 a month with all of the loans. Now, again, because of the way that the loans work now that Joe Biden has done it, this is one of the best things. He should have just lowered the interest rate to like 1%, but based on how he did the interest rate now, it doesn't compound. So it's now, a regular interest rate accumulation. So it actually will go down. And what that means is, as I pay the loan down, each of these loan groups, the amount of interest that they accumulate will actually go down. So say, for example, I pay down like $2,000 on all of these loans. That monthly interest will probably end up being like $78 instead, right? Instead of being, this is just ridiculous now. Instead of being $90. So eventually the CD will cover the interest in full, and I basically not even be paying interest. I'll just be paying the loan, while the money that I've saved over the past 3 years, because I took it upon myself. I was very serious about it. While the money that I saved is sitting and working, and it's something I'm really looking into, like keeping that as a investment type in order to continue having a mix of different like investments. I feel like I've never heard like any person that I knew growing up or otherwise like talk about CDs or like different bank products. And a lot of times when I go on like YouTubers that like finance YouTubers, everyone mostly just talks about stocks in the market. And granted, I am in stocks in the market, but I didn't think it made any sense for me to use the money that I had saved for the student loans and put it into the market, because I could wake up tomorrow and that $20,000 could turn to $15,000 real quick. And I don't think it's worth it, especially since I regularly already invest into the stock market, like literally I think every 2 weeks. So to me, it just seems like this was the best thing that I could do, and I'm going to really, really focus on getting this stuff down every month. So hopefully I can just keep updating you guys on the progress of the $26,457 that I owe. And hopefully in 2025 yeah, 2025, around this time, I should be done. Honestly, I hope it's sooner. If I get lucky, it actually could be sooner, but I don't play the lottery, so I'm not going to rely on luck. This is one of those things where I'm going to continue to rely on just maneuvering the way that I should and just keep it at that. Hopefully the interest rates, the APYs on these CDs continue to remain like historically high, because it is extremely beneficial to have it, because I think that is going to help cover, well, not that I think, it definitely will help cover the interest on the student loans. I know this is like a very unconventional way to go about things, but if unconventional is not what you want to hear, like this might not be the channel for you, because I'm literally just on a journey of finance here, and I really want to see how everything works out, like how you can actually build wealth as someone who isn't like connected to wealthy people. Like I don't have a formal education in business or finance, but I'm like extremely interested in finance, in the economics, and really getting down and dirty. I'm not just going to talk about different financial products or different financial options and never even touch it in real life. Like, that's not gonna be me. I'm not gonna be one of those um YouTubers that's on the stock market and or doing forex and showing you, oh my god, I made $1 million on forex. Meanwhile, it's just a dummy account. Like, it's just not gonna happen. This is my real stuff. This is my real money. I'm always gonna show the evidence, and I hope that you guys enjoy this journey. I'm gonna still continue to make other types of videos, but on a monthly basis, I'm gonna try to update you guys on the student loan journey, because this is something that's a huge thing and a huge like event that's happening in our society in America. So I think it's a pretty big deal. Again, not gonna talk your ear off about it. This is the plan. This is the master plan. So thank you guys for watching. Peace.